It's also on Twitch, also on whatever media I could get it on. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so I decided I am going to go ahead and give it a shot. We are broadcasting in sunny Ocala, Florida. So if you have not pretty much been to Ocala, there's nothing there. There's nothing there at all. Anyway, I'm going to do this pretty much as a I can't say daily. I ain't got the time for daily, especially when I'm working, teaching a class. But I'm going to say regular. I'm going to do a regular show where I'm just going to talk a little bit about happenings in the podcast, things on my mind, as well as things that are coming up next. So I don't know if I could share my screen in any way with you. But if you do want to join, I guess you could go to... would it be Restream? Restream.io may be the way to do it. I actually don't know. I don't know how to do the chat features. So the only thing I could check and see maybe if there's a chat from wherever you're watching me, that maybe you could do it that way. That could be the way to do it. All right, move the camera a little. Good deal. So I am going to, right now, go through a couple of the episodes that I've recently done. The most recent, of course, is with Mr. Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd. That was awesome. We had a great time just discussing truly the first. We'd have to break it up into two things, or at least I wanted to break it up into two parts. First part, we talked about Hop versus BBS, and that was kind of cool just going through that. And it wasn't a versus per se, because I've always said I'm a 60-40 guy with Hop and BBS. And however, if it's 40% BBS or 40% Hop, it really depends on the situation. But 60-40 is what I've always kind of split myself up. So we kind of talked about that a good while. Sam even mentioned that he felt he pigeonholed himself by calling himself the Hop Nerd, whereas he's an evangelist for betterment. That's how he said it. I told him, all right, get a t-shirt on that one. You need a t-shirt on that one. That's pretty awesome. So we went through that. It was really fun. My first time talking to him. We actually have been on the Safety FM network together, and I've heard of him and I've listened to him. I really like his stuff. So in hearing him and listening to him, it was awesome just being able to actually talk to him the first time. So if you're going to safetyconsultantpodcast.com, the most recent podcast right now is episode 1 with Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd. Episode 69, which was with the return of Dr. Jay Allen. The reason why I'm doing this right now is because of him. You got me doing the craziest things, Jay. I don't mind video. I've always been doing video, but video for training, video for just the show purpose, that's a Jay thing. So if you haven't even listened to the Rated R Safety Show recently, he's been back on the daily track with that one noon, and you could do it on safetyfm.com, safetyfm.live, I believe, or no, safetyfm.tv, I believe is the domain for that one. But either way, he is pretty much the one who started doing the live like every day, and I even sat into the Rated R Safety Show for the recorded ones where I had recorded some episode for him there. I believe I am one of 2 hosts that ever hosted that show besides Jay, and the other one was like a one-off event where I actually have 6 episodes, maybe 5 episodes out there. So go back and look at the Rated R Safety shows, and you can pick up the Sheldon shows. Tell me how those went. I'm going to want to do another one from here pretty soon, and I'm going to see if I could do a live one too. We might even have to work this out with restreaming. So I'm going to put that bug in his ear, see if that's even possible. But I do definitely want to go back on that one. That is great. So we talk a little bit on podcasting, actually, when I had him on episode 69, and it was truly a fun episode, just talking about how to podcast, talking about what to do as a podcaster, how to monetize it, even the basics, like what equipment to get and all the little basic things that you would need for podcasting we talked about there. And the reason I had him on that one is because, I don't know, I got a gut feeling. Let's say it this way. I got a gut feeling that people are going to start getting into podcasting more and more. And in saying that, I've also been reached out to some people reached out to me saying, "Hey, Sheldon, how do you do this podcasting thing? I want to get into it. And how's it been for you?" And trying to get the lowdown on podcasting. So I truly feel that we're going to get into another wave of podcasters that are going to start. And if you're looking at YouTubers versus podcasting, there's so much more video out there as far as content versus the podcast that there's so much room to grow. So that industry is going to really start taking off. So that's one of the things that we talked about in that episode, and it was really good. Two episodes before that, we talked about reopening America, and it was basically me, Abby Ferry of the Safety Justice League, Kevin Yarbrough, my business partner in Shelbro Safety, and then also Jake Wolfenden, who is Summit Safety Group. And we, all four of us, and Safety FM hosted this event, which was great. It was live, and then also it was, it was live video, live podcast or live stream, I guess is what you would call it. So we went an hour worth of us telling some considerations and concerns that you should probably be thinking of as a safety professional when it is regarding reopening America. It's some really tough decisions that you're going to end up having to make. And I have a episode, hopefully, if I can land this one, with a HR I think it's SPHR. I'm not too sure what that stands for, to tell you the truth. And I've always felt that safety and HR, though they have roles that play together, safety shouldn't be under HR, but I believe safety and HR should be separated. If safety had to be under any department in a company, I think risk management might be the best fit. If not, hopefully safety is all by itself underneath the CEO only. That's where I believe safety belongs. So my thought about this is, if we're going to have people who are now our workers that are coming back to work, we're going to have to, I guess, we're going to have to think about, we're going to have to reinvent the way that we're going to interact at work. So if I'm going to ask as an employer, my employee to now go and be tested as a for their employment or a condition of their employment, HIPAA rules will now take effect. So what do we have to do there? If they're found positive and now I'm telling them to go home, what's HR going to say as far as payment? So is there legal requirements? And I know it could probably be state by state, but the idea that I really want to get out there in this interview is, what could be the legal ramifications of not paying somebody if we're requiring them to stay home as a quarantine? Or is it just what I'm thinking? Yeah, automatically you're going to pay that person if you're telling them to quarantine, but then are we going to take liability for them going back home for that quarantine versus having them a place to go, like a quarantine hotel that the corporation goes in with other people in that community and says, all right, together we'll pool our money, we're going to reserve a certain amount of rooms that we're going to say these are the rooms that our employees will be able to go to, and this will be our quarantine facility, and therefore you got to pay the actual whoever the hotelier, whoever the hotel owner is, let's do it that way, so that they now can get not only the money for the special thing, but they also need to have a team, a unit, people that can clean, people that can provide social distancing, because now they're going to have to reduce how many people are allowed even in their cafeteria, or food has to come to their actual rooms if there's going to be a true quarantine. So that means they're going to have to provide bag food and everything else. something like that. So that's the mindset that's going through me. I just couldn't get everything going in at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out, all right, HR, safety, they're going to blend somewhere, and I need to figure out what is acceptable, what's not. There might be some rules and regulations I don't even know about, and I want to make sure I get that going. So this was a former student of mine. He took an OSHA 30 class of mine years and years and years ago, but we've stayed in touch. I always stay in touch with former students as best as I can, and he's going to help me out with this one. He was just trying to get a scheduling issue worked out. So if you do have any shows that you would like me to do, I would suggest that you send me an email. And the email is Sheldon at safetyconsultant.us. Sheldon at safetyconsultant.us. So that's the best way to reach me. All right, those are some of the shows that we had recently, and that basically goes from episode 67 all the way to episode 70. And actually, let's add episodes 66 and 65 into that, because those two were business continuity episodes regarding COVID-19. So add those together. That's my little COVID-19 package. I did talk about OSHA and COVID-19 in episode 63 and a few other things. So I did my part talking about COVID-19. What you didn't hear from me was something that I only spoke to my Facebook group on, and that was the happenings of whatever is going on, the craziness here in America over the actions of 4 policemen for George Floyd. So I spoke candidly about my experience with racism in the group called, it's facebook.com/groups/safety consultant. No S on the consultant. So all you have to do, go to that group. We have 3, maybe 4 basic questions that you should answer. And the one that is the most important to answer is, yes, you agree with the rules of this group. Because if you don't answer that question, automatically we are not going to let you in. So then you won't get to see that post or hear that post or anything else in that group. But the group is populated with roughly 2,100 safety professionals. Some are consultants, some are not, but that's about the size of the group, and it's truly international. We got people from all over the globe in that group, which is pretty cool. I like that. When I started it 3 years ago, roughly, I didn't expect that. So now that we're there and we get at least 15 actual approvals, maybe every other day, so it's growing. It's happening in the actual safety consultant world that I have created for myself. So let's go into the other part that I wanted to tell you briefly about, is upcoming events. So if you are looking for the safety consultant course right now, if you go to sheldonprimus.com/contest, it's sheldonprimus.com/contest, you'll be able to go ahead and fill out or put in an entry, and you could do multiple entries into winning the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. So go ahead and do that for yourself. It's free to enter, multiple entries, and you're going to go to sheldonprimus.com. And actually, I believe that's the home page, so you don't even have to do /contest, just sheldonprimus.com, and you're going to see that one. If it is not that page, then it's probably the live event page that's going to be the home page of sheldonprimus.com. And what the live event is this. There's a lot of people who want to take the course or has already started the course, but they still need some help. So what I've done is the July 28th, 29th, and 30th. So basically the day after my birthday, and my birthday is July 27th. So the 28th, 29th, and the 30th, I'm going to do a Zoom workshop. So every day for, I believe I have it from 9 to 1 Eastern time every day, we are going to go over that course. So in 3 days' time, it'll be a one-on-one one, up to 15 people. So you know how that goes, right? So 15, that's all I could focus on. I don't think I could focus on a more of a group because I know Zoom allows for 100 people in one Zoom meeting. I'm not going to mentor 100 people at a time. I could focus on 15 people. I'm going to coach you through this directly. We're going to go through the course, each module, and then each lesson we're going to talk about, and you're going to get a chance to get your questions answered right there, and it's going to be specific to you. So even though we'll have 15 total in the class, I want to make sure each and every one you're going to get your business up and running. And if you're even thinking, is this the time to start a business during the pandemic? I actually went over that in one of the previous episodes. So let's see. Episode 59 is called COVID-19 Survival for Consultants. And then let's see, I'm just kind of scrolling up over here. I did it again. And I think it's Ocean COVID-19, episode 63. And then Jay Allen had me on his show in a recent episode, and he asked me the same thing regarding, do you think now is the time for someone who is going to get into safety consulting? Should they wait until the pandemic's over, or is this a good time to start your own business? So my answer in a short run is this. Yes, this is a great time, especially if you know that your job is on the line with your company. They're still going to need compliance service because OSHA is not out of the compliance business in the U.S. They're still going to need to make sure their workers are safe and healthy. So therefore, you're going to have a need there that won't be met by a 40-hour, 60-hour employee. That hole now is going to be for a consultant to take some of that work. So therefore, what you're going to do is negotiate. Tell your bosses, hey, I'm about to start my safety consulting business. If this is the way that you want to go, I'm going to start my business. Would you allow me to have you as my first client? The workers know me. I know you. You know my worth ethic. So right now, I will help you lose this on the books, meaning whatever the salary is. And generally, your salary does include your health insurance and everything else. So what you're getting paid hourly is still not your full worth to that company, full value to that company. Let's say it that way. So therefore, if you're in that position to save your income, you may lose your job, but you save your income by becoming the consultant. This course is going to help you so that you know how to take that money and use it wisely without having to go through all those hard-earned issues that I had to go through and learn. That's the basis of this course. So that is the Safety Consultant Blueprint. So July 28th, July 29th, July 30th, we're going to go through it module by module, and you're going to have an opportunity to ask questions. And whoever completes this after 3 days, you're going to also be on my verified preferred consultant list. So let's say someone wants to see if I could do physical work in Maine. You live in Maine, you've gone through this course, it's 3 days, then I could say, hey, I can't right now, my schedule's a little busy. However, I do know a consultant in that area, and I know that they could do a good job for you, and then I'll refer. And right now, there's plenty of people asking me for referrals for other consultants because they know that's what I do. Even with subject matter expert work, sure, I know a lot about construction. I know a lot about general industry, but there are some people that know so much more about each specific topic than I do. That when I get called to ask to do subject matter expert work, as far as making a class or doing an online training, sometimes I got to turn that down. Quite honestly, or I'm going to be doing so much research to do this job, it's going to be harder. So I'd rather pass it on to someone and keep the client, but get a referral for someone else, So that's really where I could help them grow their business. So the 15 people that are going to decide to do this course with me, they're going to be on that list. So I'll refer people that I can't do the work for, or it's a conflict of interest for me to do this work, then I will refer you to them. for them to you, because I would know that you know what to do. That's the key, right? That's the key. So that is going to be July 28th, 29th, and 30th. And what you're going to have to go to is sheldonprimus.com/live, or I believe right now it's the home page. So you could see the registration is open. If you've taken the course before, you don't have to pay full registration price. You get a dramatically discounted price because you already own the course. So then you just need the push to go through everything. For those of you who are the first 5 to go through this, you're going to get a 25% discount. So the first 5 people, 25% discount. So if the discounter rate isn't up there and it's the full rate, then there's already 5 people registered. So that's for the reason. But right as of now, as the day right now, June 2nd, 2020, there is the positions that you could get that discount, 25% discount. All right. So that is the upcoming events. I talked about that. We went over happenings on the podcast. And I told you about the course giveaway. So make sure you do that. sheldonprimus.com/contest, free blueprint course. And you can then say, hey, I own the course. Let me go to the live workshop for a discounted price because I already own the course. I'm good with that. So go ahead, multiple entries, and you can actually get a chance to win the Safety Consultant Blueprint. All right. So I got some work to do. This week, I'm a writer again. I've got a couple of companies that have asked me to write their online classes. So I got to go back to writing. So that is it with the live broadcast, putting on my writer hat for courses, and just enjoy the rest of your day. And as I always say on my podcast as I end, go get them.